I'd like to call this meeting of the Marlborough Council to order. Would everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance and moment of silence for the armed services.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brendan, may we please have roll call?
Counselor Andrews.
Present.
Counselor Catalani.
Here.
Counselor Flegel.
Here.
Counselor Coroli.
Here.
Counselor Rydell.
Here.
Counselor Touche.
Here.
Counselor Shear.
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here.
We have a full house.
Okay. Just a reminder to please silence all cellular devices during the meeting. Thank you. And council members, if you haven't already, please turn on your microphones. Borough Council held an executive session prior to this evening's meeting to discuss legal issues with the borough solicitor as permitted by the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act. Any official action resulting from the executive session will occur during a public meeting. No special visitors, which takes us to public comment period number 1. Please state your name and address for the record and try to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Anybody? Nobody? Okay, all right. Moving on, closing public comment period number 1, moving on to the consent calendar. Following agenda items will be acted upon by a single motion unless a member of Borough Council wishes a specific item to be voted on separately. Approve the minutes of the June 10th, 2025 Borough Council meeting. Approve payment of all bills listed on the May 2025 detailed checklisting report. And approve the treasurer's report for the period May 1 through May 31st, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Action and discussion items. Electronic skill games regulation ordinance. Suggested motion would be to ask the solicitor to prepare an ordinance amending Chapter 380 of the zoning ordinance to regulate the electronic skills games.
Madam President, I wish to withdraw my resolution.
There is a motion on the floor. Do I have a?
I'm withdrawing it.
No, the motion she made was for the zoning changes that was just discussed
Sorry.
tonight.
My bad.
Okay.
So,
Does he have to withdraw that? Because we never
no,
made a motion on that.
because there was no action
Right, you
taken
don't
on
have
it.
to do anything for yours.
So please read it again.
Okay. Suggested motion to ask the solicitor to, the borough solicitor to prepare an ordinance amending Chapter 380 of the zoning ordinance to regulate the electronic skills games. Or do we want to have discussion?
Nobody's making a motion, so.
Or we don't want to do anything at this point? Okay, never mind.
Okay.
We'll just move on. Okay. Road closure request. Palmyra Church of the Brethren Picnic and Carnival. Discussion on and if appropriate. Suggested motion to authorize the closure of Arch Street between North Chestnut Street and Hamilton Alley on Thursday, July 17th, 2025, and Thursday, August 14th, 2025, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. in order for the Palmyra Church of the Brethren to host community picnic and cookout events, and Thursday, October 30th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for the church to host a community trunk or treat event.
Wow, they're on top of it.
Good.
October 3rd, I like.
Any option, or any problems with those dates, times?
So moved.
Do it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Resolution 2025-04. Appoint emergency management coordinator for Western Lebanon
County Regional.
County Regional Emergency Management Agency. Suggested motion to approve Resolution 2025-04, a resolution appointing Tracy Nornhold as the new Western Lebanon County Regional Emergency Management Agency Emergency Management Coordinator, replacing John Briev, who will be retiring at the end of 2025. I will second that. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Road closure request. New Covenant Church of Palmyra Back to School Worship and Prayer Night. Discussion on and if appropriate. Suggested motion to authorize, 1, the closure of West Cherry Street between North Railroad Street and South Locust Street, and 2, authorize the playing of live music as required by Section 241-6.C3 of the Palmyra Borough Code of Ordinances on Saturday, August 23rd, 2025, from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the church to host a back-to-school worship and prayer event.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, President's report. I would like to thank Tracy Nornhold for stepping up. We appreciate it. And that's all I've got.
Got big shoes to fill. You have big shoes to fill.
I do, but luckily he's going to stay on for me.
Wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty decent.
All right. Mayor's report.
Well, hey, folks, listen, we've got lots of events that are always occurring in this town. How fantastic is that? It's very active, and we're really moving forward with some great things in this town, so it's fantastic. That's all I got.
All right, that takes us to the financial report. Everybody should have the financial statement as of May 31st in front of them. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, I really haven't been questioning anything, which is good, so,
It is good.
Well, next month you'll have the half-year report.
yeah.
Okay, fire department. Still over there? Okay, good. Anything?
Just to confirm that the Fire Services Commission will meet Wednesday, July 2nd at 6 o'clock.
Okay, all right, library report. Everybody has a library report meeting, or, yeah.
And,
Minutes in front of them.
if you have any questions, let me know, but, otherwise, just a reminder, library book sales, starts July 11th at First United Methodist.
11th or 12th?
11th. Sorry, 12. Getting ahead of myself.
Okay.
Yeah, Saturday.
Okay. Police report.
The only thing new we have going is we're just about finished with the hiring process. We should have one more by probably July 14th at the latest. He should be out and about. Full uniform, and about the only real new thing.
Anybody have any questions for the police department?
I just have a quick one. So how many are patrolling now, like on shifts? Is it
On
3?
duty?
Yeah, is it like 3 or?
So
four?
right now, the detective is working. We have a car in Anvil, a car in Palmyra, and a floater car. So we'll have 3 guys out right now.
Oh, and then with the new
Plus
hour.
a sergeant.
with
New
the-
guy will fill the one officer who left. We're just
Gotcha.
replacing one that left.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I always appreciate the information that you sent out, the statistics that we get for the monthly elements that occur. And when you really get to see what goes on and from the police department, it's amazing how much work gets done every month. So I just appreciate all the work that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
I think, Sarge, one of the biggest complaints I've heard, and it's because it's summertime, is, and I have it in front of my house too, but the motorcycles
Yeah, yeah.
and the cars that are flying, they're doing that circuit. Ridge Road up through, coming down Railroad, they do that circuit, and
And one thing, just like a little safety I've noticed and people have told me is, I've noticed like on Railroad Street, a lot of cars sometimes parking in the yellow, and that can be a big safety hazard. People point out alleys or just in anything they can't see at angles. So if you wouldn't mind taking a look there, not trying to create problems, but safety first. I'm not trying to have someone get hit with a kid in the car.
Or even without a kid, I mean.
Or if
either way,
without a
yeah.
kid or anybody, but I'm just, yeah.
Yeah, they do make it hard to.
It does make it hard.
I see that a lot. I just saw yesterday I was driving down Railroad and there's I think like on the right-hand side across from dance studio there, it was like a car just sticking out. Shouldn't even be parking there. It was like sticking out, like this angled out. And I was like, what? I almost hit it, so, yeah.
Excuse me.
Can address them.
Thanks.
Anybody else have anything for police department? Okay. Rec commission.
I would assume, there's no July meeting, so she'll probably have the report out in, I'd give it 2 weeks.
Okay, solicitors report. All right, which takes us to zoning and codes enforcement. Zoning hearing board, no hearings are scheduled for Monday, July 14th, which takes us to the borough manager's report.
Just a couple things to update you quick on the East Ridge Road, Melrose off-site stormwater. Apparently, there's been some discussions amongst the property owners up there, and if you recall, one of our first options of going across the southern side of Ridge Road and obtaining new easements on the Hackett property is apparently back in as a possibility. So we're revising those things and
I was
try
actually
to
a
have a
little
meeting at some point in the
surprised to
future.
see this.
Yeah. No?
Well, is it my turn to speak first? I have to get a call.
Okay. I just assumed that there was conversations. From what I heard, there's
I
conversations.
was going to make comments at the end, but I'm not sure if I'm
Okay.
allowed to speak now or not.
Might as well.
Bill, could you turn that on? Just push the bottom button until the light turns green. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Hackett. My husband and I own the farm at East Ridge Road. My sister Nan is my neighbor. She owns the property on the north side. We are revisiting the original plan of running the water, and I don't even think it was the original plan. I think the original plan was running it down Grant Street. But someone didn't check and make sure that the borough actually had the right to do that, because that's a PennDOT road. So then the second plan was running it through our horse pasture and into our creek. And my husband, this was, I don't know, several years ago that this was first proposed. My husband sent an email requesting information that we would require before we would be amenable to that. And one of the questions was, what is going to be the environmental impact on the horses that graze in those pastures? We would need to be sure that we could drive heavy equipment over whatever drain pipe was buried there because it's farmland. We were concerned about the future development potential of that land because we are the second generation on that farm, and we know that perhaps our children may not want to farm it, they may want to develop it. I also feel that there has been a little bit of back and forth with, it feels a little like the neighbors are being pitted against each other as I don't want it on my property, well, I don't want it in my property, and it feels like the borough and PennDOT and North Londonderry all need to somehow come to an agreement that doesn't take advantage of the residents who are already there. It feels a little like the needs of the developer are being given more weight than the residents who already have lived there for years. I mean, my family's lived on this farm since 1950. So we're not saying that we would be opposed to another, discussion about the drainage in the on the south side of the road, but it would go basically, very far down through our horse pasture to do this. And we never got our questions answered when my husband first asked them several years ago. And I know that that was probably because different proposals were brought forward that seemed more financially and, otherwise workable. So that's where we stand. We want to be good neighbors, both to our current neighbors on Grant Street and to the residents of the borough, and even to the new developer, and the new neighbors who are coming in. But we need to have our questions answered, and we would, like to get this settled. Also, on a personal note, I'd like to add that we had a fire on Sunday. One of our barns burned down. Fortunately, no one was hurt, including animals. It was a small barn behind our house. But I would just like to say that the first responders who showed up, Palmyra Fire, they were there in minutes. They had it out. The barn was a total loss, but no one was hurt. No property besides that barn was damaged. They were professional, they were kind, they were fast, and our family is very grateful for that, so,
We're grateful that nobody and no animals were hurt.
yeah.
No, I have a question for you.
Yes.
And you've heard me before, I own horses myself, I understand the concern. Are you looking for like a water quality study of what's coming
Yes.
through? That's the kind of
Yes.
testing you want?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we also have some concerns about what is going to be the impact as far as sinkholes. It's Palmyra, and if we're directing a whole lot more water over our property, you can't get sinkhole insurance for land. You can get sinkhole insurance for structures,
But not
but
for land.
not for land. And, the value of that land, part of why we work so hard to keep it as a farm is that we want to be able to pass it on to our kids. So, thank you
And
for
I
the.
think in that zone up there, wasn't that on the mapping?
Could you email us those questions again? and-
Yes,
and just
I
if
will
you
ask
can
my
add
husband to
more?
send the email
Well,
again.
yeah, I see them, but if you want to add any more, and
Okay.
then we'll elaborate and talk, and we'll get everything you need.
Okay. So am I to understand that the Grant Street plan is now off the table again? Where are we with that?
Yeah, PennDOT.
About up to here.
Okay,
And I'm sure the residents are also, including yourself.
Thank you.
Sorry, go ahead. Personal comment.
No, I was just gonna say that we submitted that to PennDOT for review and they rejected it.
the Grant Street plan?
Grant Street plan. Yeah.
The alley plan or the? What happened to the alley plan?
That's, if you're talking about the alley plan to take it south and then west to North Lincoln Street, that's still the only viable option we have left. But that's up to the property owners to decide if they want to go that way or not.
Roger, when we had the gentleman that did the sinkholes that night, that showed us thing, our area up there, because I live up there too, that was on the low end of risk, correct? For sinkholes?
Yeah.
That's in that zone where it's
Yeah,
very low
the
risk.
geology changes a little bit up there, so it's not quite as much limestone, it's more shaly type geology up there, so.
That's what I thought.
Anything else for East Ridge?
No, that was it, that was it. The drainage culvert going across Main Street at Mark, I met today with Custer Excavating and Borough Engineer Mike Nouse, trying to develop we kind of have an idea what they want to do, but, as you can imagine, Mr. Custer, when you start doing something like that on a very busy road, if something goes south, what are you gonna do? You can't leave that road closed forever, so. We just got notice today that our sewer camera rig is ready for delivery. We're gonna get it next Wednesday. They're gonna deliver it, we're gonna get training on it. So we're gonna immediately put that thing to use and The guys are gonna jet vac that culvert out, make sure it's nice and clean, and then we're gonna run the camera up there and get good pictures of where the lids are resting on top of the culvert walls.
Will that help with the planning and hopefully not having the road closed, the preparing for it?
Yeah, I think that will make everybody feel more at ease before we start tearing into it. Because they're trying to determine, can they just jack those concrete pads up a little bit, clean off the ledge, put the mastic in and just set it back down, or does he gonna have to lift those things off there and do some other work? So, hoping the camera helps with some of that. As far as like a road detour, they're talking about, they would like to leave the westbound traffic lane open and just reroute the eastbound at Lingle to Cherry and just around, so that there's not so many backups through the center of town.
Great.
There's
And
no
he
easy
won't
way.
know a time
There's not
frame
an
until
easy
he
way, I
opens
was just
it.
gonna say, that's gonna create,
Well, you could lift the
Sharon
concrete
Railroad's gonna be a
cap off and it could break.
yeah. And of course, trying to cross
mean,
or
when you're doing it,
turn
I'm gonna
left onto Cherry is always, or onto Railroad is always a bit of an issue.
Now, Roger, would it be better to have that as a night project when there's not as less traffic?
Well, we talked about that. That's a possibility too. So
Please take into consideration the residents in that area too,
that's the other thing.
because,
Although I tell you what, standing there and watching
Been
those,
sleeping anyways,
listening to the
doesn't
trucks go over that thing now, it's noisy.
well, and I know, because I lived on Railroad Street for many years, even through the 422 paving.
Yeah.
That was all done at night.
But then the trucks are gonna have to go down Cherry.
Well, yeah, we would try to get all traffic down
I don't
Cherry.
want trucks coming in.
No, but, I
I
mean,
mean,
what
it's
do you
either that
do?
or you'd have to do, you'd probably have to have like traffic control, flagger force kind of
Yeah.
people set up to
There's no other better
open
way
and
for them to
close
go
one
through.
lane at all times. That's the only
That would
other
be a
option.
worst nightmare.
Well, that, I almost,
Or-
I'm with
It
you
is what it
about
is.
trucks on Cherry, but I think that's even worse.
Yeah.
Because it'll be backed up through Hershey.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. Easy, quick, easy. It does, it gets backed up quick anymore when,
Yeah.
when people jack up the red light up here.
yeah.
Yeah, it just stinks, especially summertime, the kids are,
No,
people
I
out.
get it.
Well, I think we're talking more, trying to keep it to hours
Yeah.
Yeah.
rather than days.
Yes.
So if there's a little bit of an inconvenience for hours.
Yeah.
That'd be
It's
better.
not like we're talking for
mean-
3 weeks.
A day at the
Right.
most.
You know, people who live on Main Street deal with the noise anyway, and the dirt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't have anything else.
Nothing else?
That's it.
Okay. All right, no communications. Any other business? Sergeant? Any other business? Mayor?
Nope. No.
Nope. Jane, you got anything?
No, thank you.
Anthony?
I will not be here the next, session, July 8th. I'll be
July
on
8th, okay.
vacation with my family.
Actually, I won't be either. I'm sorry.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't be this hot.
Yeah, hopefully.
The heat wave should be calmer.
nothing.
Nothing? Nothing? Okay, public comment period number 2.
Number 2.
Please state your name and address for the record and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes. Still? Okay. Okay, closing public comment period number 2. Borough Council will conduct its next public meetings on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, and Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025, beginning at 7 PM. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Almost.
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 You gotta work harder.